Welcome to the predicted starting 11. Saints back to the perils of the Premier League to play Bournemouth this weekend. Here's who I think should play on Saturday. Now before we get started though, go ahead and leave your teams in below to play Bournemouth on Saturday. Make sure you submit it before 2 o'clock. I'm not going to accept late comments such as Joshua Bora last week after the team was announced. Now, to be fair, we were quite close last week. I managed to get 10 out of 11. A few of you seem to agree with me. We only missed out on sort of Dusan Tadic for Mario Lemina. And this week, I think Mark Hughes has got a huge dilemma on his hands. He will surely want everyone that wants to fight for the shirt to be on that pitch on Saturday. First up then, in the sticks will be Alex McCarthy. Yep, he will be in the sticks until the rest of the season. Into the wing backs, I'm going to stick it out with a 5 at the back, or the 3-5-2, whatever the TV coverage decides to put it out on paper. But at right wing back for me, got to be Cedric Soares, and on the other side, Ryan Bertrand once again to captain the team. These two will most certainly give us our width, and they did, and they have done over the last few weeks, getting into good areas of the pitch, swinging the balls from deep, getting down to the byline. A huge engine on these two. Certainly expect more of that again on Saturday. Now for the 3 centre-backs. Of course, now Jack Stephens back in consideration after his 3-match suspension after swinging for Jack Wilshere. But I'll start off with Jan Bednarek. Now, to be honest, he's not really put a foot wrong for me since he's come into the side after replacing Jack Stephens. I think it'd be harsh to drop him. And, you know, he was hooked off last week because Mark Hughes wanted to go gung-ho and put Gabbiadini up top. I think he may start Bednarek once again on Saturday. The second central defender, I've got to go for Maya Yoshida. Again, we need to rely on his organisation, his somewhat of leadership qualities to organise that back three, because Bournemouth will come at us. Finishing off the defence then, is it Jack Stephens or Wesley Hoedt? For me, I have to go for Jack Stephens. He's back from suspension. He will want to warrant a start. He's perhaps a little bit more fresher than Wesley Hoedt. And you know what? His defending last week at Wembley was totally unforgivable. Ducking out of that header and basically giving that header on a plate for Morata from 2 yards out. Time to recall Jack Stephens. In the middle of the park then, I have to go with the 2 big battling midfielders, Oriol Romeu alongside Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Once again, those two giving it absolutely everything for every blade of grass and for blood, sweat and tears last week at Wembley. You know, sometimes even trying to kick Chelsea off the park with some heavy tackles. Gave it absolutely everything. Sometimes sloppy, sometimes late, but that's what you want to see. You want to see some full commitment from our 2 central midfielders. But having said that, we can't afford to lose these two. Oriol Romeu is only 1 yellow card away from 10 yellow cards, and that will also see him out for a suspension, which we simply cannot afford at this stage of the season. Ahead of those two then, behind the strikers, I'm going to go for Dusan Tadic. Really wanted to make things happen for himself last weekend against Chelsea, and strangely he had set pieces, corners, free kicks with intent without actually floating high or floating wide, and managers seem to love him. And I really wanted to add Nathan Redmond to this week's midfield. He came on with purpose against Chelsea last week. Piercing shot from 25 yards, squirmed under Caballero, and he will want to get on the pitch once again to impress, but he's a wide player. I'm not sure he can fit in as a number 10. And on a side note, it looks like Stephen Davis may miss the rest of the season through injury, reoccurring injuries that we've seen over the last couple of months. We only saw a cameo from him against Leicester last week, and to be fair, I don't think we've seen the best of him since Northern Ireland have failed to qualify for the World Cup back in October, November time. Also, Sofiane Boufal is excluded from the first team action at the moment. He's training with the under-23s under Mark Hughes' instructions until he's ready to return to the first team. Have we seen the last of him? Probably. And sticking it out with 2 up top, I have to go for Shane Long and Charlie Austin. First of all, Shane Long, we know what to expect from him. He'll draw fouls, he'll get in behind, create space and stretch that defence. Charlie Austin as well, so unlucky not to score last weekend, was the closest without scoring, hitting the post, getting that goal ruled out because of a lack of VAR. Definitely crossed the line on barely a brush on a keeper. Charlie Austin will surely start if we have any hope of scoring and staying up. That wraps it up then for the predicted starting 11 to play Bournemouth this Saturday at St Mary's. One thing's for sure, this is truly our last chance if we want to do it ourselves and we simply cannot afford to give Bournemouth an inch because they will come back. They've done it so many times this season. Let me know what you think of my team in below, and don't forget to leave us your scores and your teams in the comments below.